Chairman Stafora,
Present.
Vice Chairman Houston,
Present.
Commissioner Meyer,
Present.
Commissioner Wells,
Present.
Commissioner Salinas, and I am here. Got everybody, right?
Right, item 4, verification of agenda posting.
The agenda for the Airport Advisory Commission of the City of Hollister special meeting of November 20th, 2019 was posted on the bulletin board at City Hall on November 14th at 10 a.m. per Government Code Section 54956.0.
Does everybody have a copy of the September 25th meeting minutes in front of them?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes as they are? Or is there any discussion anybody has?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as they are.
Any second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Call for the vote. Accept the meeting minutes as they are written. All say, we'll say aye if you're for it.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Accept the meeting minutes. Do we have public input today?
We do.
Excellent. Well,
Ruth Erikson.
Ruth, please.
Well, you know I'm from Hollister. This was brought up at the last meeting, and I was told to bring it up at this meeting. I heard through various grapevines that there were 3 items that were possibilities but might be in the runway protection zone: a hotel, a glass factory, and a cannabis business. Now, I don't know if they're true. I don't know if they have come before the city council. I don't know. This is just what I hear. So, are any of these possibilities or ideas that have been brought before the city council?
So are you asking me to get it placed on the agenda?
Can't comment
No,
on
I
public
just
comment.
wondered. This was something that I brought up at the end of the last meeting, and they said bring it up.
Did you have a specific news article you're citing? Where is
Well,
the
there was
source
something on at the last city council meeting about a business, a big business, and it was somewhere on Gateway Drive, near Gateway Drive.
Which is nowhere near the airport.
Okay.
Gateway Drive is Tiffany
But there was
Ford.
also another one that was near,
Tiffany Ford.
I think, south, somewhere near the airport. I mean, this is just what I've heard.
There are no issues with the
No
airport's runway
issue.
protection zone.
Okay, so we're okay. That's all I was wondering. You hear these things and you don't know.
Thank you, Ruth. We have any others? All right, moving on. Item 7, reports. Alpha item is AIP 21 Runway Taxiway Safety Project.
We are in the process of going through the submittals for the project and approving them. We expect to start receiving deliveries of equipment that will be installed later this month. Oh, wait, sorry, later next month. We're almost out of this month. And then currently, we're looking at the project beginning in March, depending on the weather.
Okay, great.
Are there any specific questions on that one, or, runway closures are intended to happen at night on this one, so, and the majority of the work's happening outside the,
I think we have it on the agenda just for information
runways.
purposes, so.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, item B, the TPA change, the traffic pattern altitude change.
We contacted our consultant, who contacted the FAA, and it's still showing a status of accepted. So, nothing to report.
No change. All right, item C, the CPI compare with other airports.
You were given a packet of responses from the California Airport email serve. There's a organization of airport managers throughout California. And we sent it out to them, and these are the responses. The majority of them follow our process, but there are a few different. So the information's being presented to you in its entirety for information.
Where were you, San Francisco?
Yes. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, which is our economic bubble.
Okay, I think these will be reviewed, and then should further questions, we'll put on the agenda for follow-up on another meeting.
Okay.
So we can read this. All right, 7D, bathroom improvements.
So, the bathroom on the east side, I'm trying to figure out what to call that bathroom.
The building 14,
Building 14 bathroom, there you go. Those improvements have been completed. And then the bathrooms on, the Eris bathroom was completed. And then we are wrapping up the projects on the west side. We have a little bit of paint left to do in one of the bathrooms, and then those bathrooms are completed.
The meeting room bathroom is nice.
Thank you.
the painting is a little interesting, but like around the door, I've noticed they either ran out of paint or whatever, around the door handle, it's, but otherwise it's,
16, yes.
if you're gonna paint it, take the handle off and paint it.
Is there a chance on that, that we could use that cupboard?
Is there stuff in it?
There's toilet paper,
Well, I'd say you are using it.
that our group could use it.
Well, there's a storeroom at the end of the hallway,
No, it's the engagement.
but maybe, well, looking for storage. I don't think the bathroom is a good place because public comes in and out of there.
It's taken up basically all the cupboards, so we've only got one little space in the kitchen and one cupboard.
Is this on the agenda?
It's not, so,
Kind of need somewhere else to put stuff.
well, okay. 7 Echo, dog park update.
So we're making some really good progress on the dog park. We have the walkway in from the west side of the main dog area, wrapping around the south end of the park, and then coming back, and then coming back on the east side. And then we've started the retaining walls for the small dog area. We did a pour this morning to wrap up the north end of that. Next couple days, they're gonna be putting down the rodent wire, running the plumbing, and then getting the dirt in place for the small dog grass area. At which point, we will pour the containment wall at that point, because you gotta get tractors in and out. So we're having to time the way walls get poured so we can get people in and around and stuff done. We also have discovered that you can't really drive on that rodent wire. It starts to go all weird. So I believe we're doing well. I'm trying to get the small dog area wrapped up before it starts raining so we can get it seeded. Depending on the weather, how it happens, whatever else, we may have to pause the project till spring at that point.
Is there any sidewalk thought about running between the front of the airport where the memorial is that would run down to where the dog park area is? So if somebody was walking like from the restaurant, they could go down to the dog park and back
That
without
has
walking out in the street.
never been designed. It could be designed. It'd be extremely expensive. But it couldn't be out on the street. It'd have to go on our property.
Oh, inside the
Yeah.
gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 5-mile-an-hour road, and it's a safety issue.
Well, there's people that I see walking that, so that was the only reason.
Yeah, me
I asked.
too.
Yeah, great.
Kind of scary.
I have a question on, what is going on in the dog park around the area? Is that gonna be a dog run or something? Looks like dirt and it's,
It's a ADA accessible pathway.
which?
So somebody can be on a wheelchair with a dog on a
Oh.
leash, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's
or
what
it's a
that's all
place for
about.
people to walk while their dogs run around.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna put retaining walls between the small and the large dogs, not just?
Well, underneath that is a whole bunch of base, and so we have to put something in to contain that base when we're compacting it and everything. And I could put a wood product in there that's gonna go bad, so, and it cost a bunch of money. And so I decided, and the plastic product was more expensive than the concrete. So I just went with concrete. So we're pouring a concrete wall to hold that stuff,
Wow.
and we're never gonna have a problem with it.
So no chain link fence then anymore?
No, the chain link
No,
fences
it's
are gonna
still
go
there.
back up.
This is a concrete retaining wall between the walkway and the grass,
That is
Right.
correct.
Oh, okay.
kind of like a mow strip.
It's a mow strip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see all kinds of activity going on there every day. All right, thank you.
7F, the airport master plan review.
So, I think it was, has it been 2 years already? Or was it just last year?
No,
Yeah, last year. Last year, we updated the airport layout plan, and we did the narrative report, which you have a copy of. And this goes through the forecast for traffic and talks about our current inventory and project plans, et cetera. Page 84 is the planning of the, the capital improvement projects.
okay.
And page 85 is a picture of where we're going. And currently, we are working on project 3 and 4, except for the part of 4 that's down at runway 6. Because of a imaginary tiger salamander, we had to loop that off our project. But all that area you see in yellow on the map is occurring in March. So we are on schedule.
And that includes the moving of the Bravo cross of 3-1.
That is correct. That is happening in March.
How do we, is there a measurement of how much shorter how much is that gonna take off the runway?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, it's not, because the threshold's past it already, it's gonna
correct.
come up and meet it, okay.
That is correct.
All right. Well, I'm guessing that we'll need more time. If anybody has questions, we'll read through this and ask at a subsequent meeting. 7G, CalFire move update.
I did get an email about a move at CalFire just yesterday. The base commander who's been there 8 years is moving on.
Oh, kind of move.
But that's the only movement I've seen at CalFire. So, I did send an email this morning to our political consultant. I was reading an article in the Sacramento Bee that stated that California was on its way to a $7 billion surplus. And I suggested to her that perhaps some of that money could finally build this base. So I'm waiting upon a response. I know that Senator Caballero is on it. She is
Excellent.
is really involved in and keeping their feet to the fire. And we do know that they are spending $1 million this year planning, so.
Okay.
That is
Yes.
correct.
What was that? Oh, I don't know. What was his name, Ruth?
Josh?
Chief Nettles?
Nichols?
Nettles,
Nettles.
like the plant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a dozer operator retiring end of this month.
Oh, I didn't know that.
7 Hotel is the NBAA Las Vegas update.
I am pleased to report that we had more people in our booth this year than we ever have had on all the years added up.
Would that be coming
Nice.
to the booth or at the booth?
Coming to the booth and spending time in our booth.
Is that because you have a better location or a better display?
I cracked the code. I rented a Pac-Man machine. They were all over it. So we talked to probably at least 650 people
Wow.
during the show and got our information out there. We believe that we got great exposure at this show. We are looking forward to the next one and continuing the thing. In fact, am I speaking out of turn to say that all the other booths were coming to us trying to figure out how we had so many people in our booth? Because they really were. So
That's great.
we had, yeah, so, yeah. I
And what-
figured that was gonna work with our target audience.
Congratulations.
Yeah, of the 650 roughly visitors, was there a predominant theme of what you were hearing from them about?
Many of us didn't realize the facility could accept their business. They knew about Monterey, they knew about San Jose, and they
Didn't know
were
that-
really surprised to learn as much as they learned about us.
that's great.
So I don't know if you've seen any increase in traffic yet, but I would anticipate an increase in traffic from our activities.
Seems been busy these last couple of weeks, so maybe so.
Good.
7I, ACIP 2020-2026.
So you have a piece of paper with some green lines on it? So the city council approved the capital improvement program, and this begins with the year of 2020,
Can
yes.
you show that again? I've got,
I don't think we
No,
got
I
that.
don't have
one.
it.
You don't have that?
No.
Oh, you were supposed to get that. Okay, I'll run you through it. I apologize.
No worries.
So the city council adopted our 5-year capital improvement program. It actually lists 6 years because we have, last year's we still have to close out. So it starts in 2020 with the repair at the phase 1 of 1331. That was the overlay that we completed already. And then it moves into this year's project, which is to do the safety improvements for the build the
That
taxiway,
would be
move
the
Bravo.
realignment.
Sorry. After that, our next project is to do the runway 6 end improvements. And with that, I'm trying to include a salamander exclusion fence on the entire, you giggle. No, it's not that tall, it's 6 foot tall. But, in an effort to avoid ever having an issue with the imaginary salamanders again, I want to run a salamander exclusion fence over the entire west side property line of the airport, which is where the vernal pool is within the distance that they could be on the airport property. So if we put the fence up and we clear the property, we're done. We don't have to deal with them again. And I'm trying to get federal funding to do that, so they'll pay 90 cents of it. We'll get the state to pay 5 cents of it, and we're responsible for 5 cents of it. Along with that, we're trying to get the taxiway lighting installed for taxiways Alpha and Charlie. Get rid of the reflectors. So 2021 is the planning and environmental for all that. 2022 is the execution of the project. In 2023, we are planning on updating the airport layout plan. We're supposed to do that every 5 years. It'll be due. And we're trying to get the environmental and design done on the displaced threshold for runway 31. 2024, we're trying to go out and construct the displaced threshold for runway 31. And then in 2025, we're looking at designing the new pavement for over at the west side hangars. And in 2026, we're looking at reconstructing the west side hangars. And that's not a simple paving job. That's gonna be just like the main runway, where we all have to go muck it all out and then build a profile, because it's the same dirt.
You have to
That's in front of
raise it up and pack the whole thing, or what, why?
We dig down
have to
about
dig.
6 feet.
Yeah,
We lime treat it. We put 3 feet of dirt back. We lime treat it again. And then they bring in rocks about that big and do about 3 feet of that, compact those. And then they bring in rocks the size of my fist and do that, and then the base, and then the asphalt.
That's in front of the hangars?
Yeah, it won't have to be quite that high a profile because it's not the runway of it handling the heavy things, but the problem is it's the same quagmire clay garbage over there at the hangars. So we're probably gonna have, I'm gonna guess, a 3 to 4 foot profile.
what is the plan for the occupants in those hangars during the construction?
They will be notified of the construction time. Hopefully we can phase it per row and they'll be provided an opportunity to put their aircrafts on the ramp when it's occurring.
Okay.
This salamander fence, what is it? Oh,
It's a very, very, very fine mesh fence that you bury 18 inches
18 inches.
below the surface of the soil and then extend it 60 inches above the surface of the soil.
Salamanders are still plaguing us, huh?
You cannot scale it.
All right. Any other questions on the capital? plan?
Can you have him, ask him to give him those copies?
Yeah, could Tony or somebody send us the copy, just an email?
I'll make
of-
a copy before we get out of here.
Okay, great. Perfect. 7J, aircraft inventory.
There's a typo there, and I apologize. The aircraft are not resisting, I assure you. As you know, we update this annually after the airport inspection, which is gonna be occurring in about a month. You should be, those of you that are tenants should be receiving your letters to let you know that's occurring. We've gone through it. We've fixed the little hinky-dink we had going on over there. Currently, our inventory states we have 118 aircraft. Of those, 102 of them are what's called validated, meaning there's no question on status. 16 of those aircraft are claiming they live somewhere other than us. So, that is a constant issue. So, the county works on that issue, we don't. That's up to the tax collector to work that out. I can only tell you what aircraft I have leases on and what aircraft I see with my own eyes.
And that's, the validated, that includes aircraft that are currently registered versus, and not registered. That's both.
No, there are no non-registered aircraft on here.
Okay, but there are some at the field.
We do have some non-registered aircraft at the airport, yes.
And are they in hangars?
Some of them are, yes.
Okay. Do we know about how many those are of the 118? Well, that's not in the 118.
It's not in the 118.
Okay.
I could endeavor to get you that information, but I would invite you to my office to show you the scope of my problem of determining that.
Okay. Do we have a guess, just a ballpark number?
give me a percentage of how much of a complete plane you consider a plane. Because I got one that's full of fuselages.
Oh, I see.
So I would say more than 50. Not solely occupying the hangar, but in hangars that are,
Around the
Yeah.
airport.
Right.
several hangars have the registered one and then a deregistered one.
Okay,
I have a question.
please.
Of the 16 that claim that they live somewhere else, those are yet to be validated that they are here, in fact?
That's a tax assessor's deal. That's not us.
Well, are they renting, are they leasing hangars?
I couldn't tell you that. We provide information to the tax assessor's office and they make those determinations. So if they have a copy of all our leases, they're public documents, they're recorded, and they have a copy of our inventory annually, and they do the
Are you asking the question because those 16 shouldn't be eligible to rent hangars?
Correct, so we may have some vacancies,
Right.
correct?
I don't know which of the 16 aircraft they are. They do not provide us with that information.
But you will be inspecting that, or you say the assessor's office
The
inspects?
that is the assessor's office. That's their responsibility to sort out those issues.
It's not the airport's responsibility?
I do not have access to the information to make that determination. Only the assessor's offices
So when
do.
you say you're gonna do these inspections, the letters go out and knock and they either
He
have-
collects the N numbers, but he doesn't know what the tax status
Some-
is of that. you
Some
know.
owners of the airplanes have
Right.
dual residency.
Right,
So at one time, we had a hangar in Tahoe City or Truckee, but yet we kept the airplane here. When we flew to Truckee, we put it in a hangar up there. That's where these other 16 airplanes comes, they have dual residencies.
they go back and forth.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right, item 8, old business, nothing there.
Let me
Item
go
9.
back to that. Was that supposed to be deregistered aircraft or non-registered?
I don't know if she was going for delisted or unregistered.
Yeah, I think
So we're going to settle with the aircraft are resisting us.
they're resisting.
They resist to go.
Item 9 was new business, there's none listed. Item 10, items for the next agenda. I guess we will continue to have A, B. We may have questions on C, but should we put a placeholder in for questions for that? Is that all right?
Yeah, I would encourage you to reach out to me offline so I'll be able to answer them, because if you hit me with them right here,
Yeah, absolutely.
it'll be a to be continued.
The bathroom improvements, so D, that's almost
Pretty
done.
much done.
Yeah, 50% of a paint job and we're done.
We can probably set that one
Sorry,
aside, but we should.
50% of a paint job plus a doorknob.
E, we'll have the dog park, because that's ongoing. Same with F, we'll have questions. Nothing on G, because that's an update, the show. There'll probably be questions, I know, for I. And I'm not sure we have questions for J ongoing, because we don't know. Will the county provide a report with details? So we were not
No,
gonna
we
get
get a
any
check.
we're not gonna get any additional information there, so.
No, that's pretty much tax purposes only.
Right. That was part of the problem in the last year, so,
Yeah.
but I think it's addressed now. Are there any other items for the next agenda?
We will be having the budget.
Budget? Anyone?
Did you want to add anything about the open house?
We can,
Lawrence
pro-
Zeri had sent an email, something about she wanted to add that to this agenda.
sure, let's go ahead and,
Progress or-
we'll just do a progress report on those.
Interesting.
That will be good. And then, that's it.
Action items?
Yeah,
No
no other, all right. And then, of course, if there's any additional, email them, and we can still put some some on the agenda. Item 11, action items, there's nothing listed. The next meeting date is, there's no meeting in December, that would have been on Christmas. The next meeting date is January the 22nd at 6 PM. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Making a motion to adjourn?
I'll
Any
second.
Seconds? You second, we have multiple seconds. Give it to,
I'll
give it to
second.
Renee. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, meeting is adjourned.